Hey guys, this is the vlog that I promised you on, I think Thursday. Yeah, we're going to the mountains today anyway. So, yeah, I can't wait to take you along with me. Okay, see you on the journey. I do go! Are you ready, doggos? So pretty, so pretty, smile!
I can't see him. I can't see him. He can't see us. He's not.
We're going up the mountain. Go on that. We are eating lunch soon.
Yeah. Katie always does that.
I wish I had a GoPro to video the zip line, but I didn't. Yeah, you know, I know. There might not be a next time, memes. I know, but I'll be doing it myself. Oh, that's true. We could. Yeah, they would. That's true. Yeah. Hi. What's up?
No, thank you.
No. You don't
On
need
your
salt.
phone.
It's already in there.
Yeah, man, no salt. Okay, guys, I have something to tell you. I did not vlog the jail, and I am so sorry, but they told us to turn off our phones when we got in there, and the only way and the only means of me vlogging was through my phone, and they told us to turn them off, so I had no means of vlogging. I will just react to it because I asked you guys on Twitter if you guys wanted me to react to it, and like 80% of you guys wanted me to, and there's only 5 votes, but you know, that's because I don't have really a following on Twitter. You know, if you want, you can go follow me on Twitter right here. Anyway, let's get on into the reaction. Okay, so they took 20 people, 20 of us to go in the jail at a time, and it was a ghost tour. So what that means is like it wasn't like, ooh, like spooky haunted house, like actually haunted house. No, it was them telling actual ghost stories. So what they did is they had us literally come into this like meeting area, and then they had us go into the dining room, which was the actual dining room of the warden and his wife and his family who lived on the 2nd floor, but they ate everything. They like ate in the dining room and like lived in the jail up until the 1970s, and the jail was operational until 1995, and I got that wrong in my video last week. I am sorry. But also the Molly Maguires happened in the late 1800s, and I also got that wrong. Whoops. I should be a history buff. I mean, I am a history buff, but you know what? I forget things. Anyway, so after that, they led us into another like holding area, and then they told us stories, and then I forget what stories they told us, but they said the girl who was like, you know, she looked like she was 16, 17, she knew her stuff. She told us, you know, when we get into the cell block, it's very sad and emotional and depressing and oppressing, and I was like, okay, you know. I went in there, and I've been in the jail so many times when I was younger, and like I think 6 years ago I went. Yeah, I went 6 years ago, and then I went again. Did I go 2 years ago? I went 2 or 3 years ago without Rob. This was with him, and they also, when we got in the cell block, they let us into a cell to make sure that we knew that what it felt like to be a prisoner. And it was like when I got into the cell block, or the cell, I actually felt like I was going to cry. And they told us a story about how this guy, he was being hanged, I think around like noon-ish, and his wife came knocking on the jail doors, and the warden's like, oh, that's just his wife, let's proceed to hang this man who was wrongfully accused of, you know, being a Molly Maguire, and that's what it was. And So he was hanged, and the woman burst through the doors and was like, I am too late, I'm too late, I'm too late, and started crying. And now there are accounts of people seeing the woman in white. She was wearing a white dress, and she's sitting on the steps crying, and there was a few kids who came up and who said, I don't want to go past the woman in white. I don't like the woman who's crying, different things like that. Like, very unsettling when you see that stuff and it's like totally out of the ordinary and totally out of the norm. So after that, they let us past cell 17, which is where the handprint is, and I'm sorry, I wish I could have vlogged. I am so silly, but they wouldn't allow us to take pictures and they wouldn't allow us to take video of it, and I'm very sad that I couldn't. And like, that is honestly the reason why I had gone. There has been stories about how that cell is like the hot spot for activity. If you had watched my last video last week, I will put in the iCard and description box below that video so you guys can be up to speed on the handprint. But there is also stories about two men being in that cell, literally arguing, talking. It was a co-ed jail at one point, and there was a woman in the jail cell, and she complained about two men coming in and out of the cell without opening the door. For, I think it was 3 hours that they said. 3 hours that had gone on. And mind you, they told us all this near the gallows where they hanged the supposed Molly Maguires. And while this was going on, I heard whistling. I heard a man whistle twice. And I'm the stupidest person ever because I didn't ask Rob the night that this happened if he heard it too. I waited until Sunday morning to text him if he heard it, and he automatically said nope. And I said ... it was loud, and I proceeded to tell him what else I heard and different things, and he goes, I don't remember. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's probably just me being crazy, or I know there was another tour going on, but I don't think it was the tour because they were underneath, like they were in the dungeon. There was nobody going upstairs, nobody like anywhere like around us. Nobody was whistling on the tour that I was with. I was looking around, I saw shadows, I heard the whistling, and then I saw a face. This face was totally unnerving. It had no eyes. I don't think it had a mouth, and it was just looking at me. And I was like, okay. Like, once I saw it, I looked away instantly, and it did not feel nice. It felt like it was a little bit demonic and not happy, like not a happy spirit, not a good spirit, and it was like very scary. So we had gone into the dungeon, which is the isolation chambers, and what they had done is with this, they had put like different things, different spooky things, like Halloween things in the cells. And they had told us about this story that happened a few weeks ago with these two girl tour guides, and they were locking up the jail, and the one goes to the other, hey, I have not taken a picture of the dungeon by itself without any lights on. And the other one goes, hey, and the girl who she's like talking to, she's like, you know, why don't you just do it now? We have a few minutes to kill. Why not just do it now while you have the chance? And so she takes the picture, and while she's taking the picture, she hears a bouncing ball. And they look at each other, they slowly back up, and they run up the stairs instantly. This happened a few weeks ago. Now, while the tour guide was telling the story, I heard what sounded like crying, like sobbing, and this was totally like silent. It was so quiet. I had to really listen, really hone into the sobbing, and it sounded like it came from like the other side of the dungeon. It was so weird. I had asked Rob about it. He said he did not hear anything, or he didn't remember that he heard anything, but I don't think anybody would have heard that. So I think it was just me, or it was probably paranormal because of the stories that I've been hearing and that I've heard on the tour. Also, when we had gotten out and when we had gone to the courtyard where they let us out and told us our last 3 or 4 stories, Rob goes to me, "Wow, that was a lot." And I said, "What, of emotion?" He goes, "Yeah. I couldn't even go into the cells by myself because I couldn't either. They were so dark, and I looked in and I felt so unnerved. It wasn't even funny. Like, it was so scary. It wasn't as scary like, boo! It was like scary like, okay, what's gonna come and like eat me alive, you know? It was like totally like that feeling. It was nervous. It was a nervous feeling. It was an anxious feeling. I didn't like it at all. The first time that I had gone there, and it was a daytime, I think it was a daytime tour. It was a daytime tour, and I was younger. I heard whispering. And it was nobody in the tour. It was when I was younger, and I told my mom, I was like, "I hear whispering." And she's like, okay, whatever. And they were making fun of me. But you know what? Rob didn't make fun of me. He was so funny. He goes, "I know how you are." You would have been like, "I feel something." And I'm like, I'm not all Super Saiyan. You know, I don't go all Super Saiyan like that. And yeah, it was really interesting. The jail hasn't changed any since I last saw it. Just the emotions were more, I guess, prevalent the night that I went because I didn't have my parents shielding me with their love and their care. I had Rob shielding me, but that was, you know, he's only one person instead of 2, and I didn't go with any other family members beside him. So it was definitely an experience, and I'm sorry I didn't vlog. If I vlogged, I would have gotten a whole bunch of different things. I know I would have. And yeah, that's it of my video. If you guys love this, it's a little bit of a vlog, a little bit of a sit-down talky video. If you guys love these types of videos, please thumbs this up. Also, comment below if you guys want to hear any more ghost stories, anything spooky or haunted, because I have a lot of stories to tell you guys. Okay? Also, please subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. I would love it if you would actually sit down and subscribe. It only takes like a second. I love you guys. Stay beautiful and positive, and do something spooky this season. Bye.